All right, we got everybody coming in and we're recording. Hi everybody. I'm not in my usual spot. Let's see what the temperature is right now. I'm in Chicago visiting my daughter and now three grandchildren. So my grandson was born on the 9th. So it's already the 20th. Time flies. But Chicago weather, it's
Well,
7 degrees here. Feels like one. So it's like I don't even know what. And tomorrow's weather is supposed to be 3 degrees with a low of -7. So as I was going to the grocery store today, it confirmed the fact that I am never going to live in the cold. Okay, I am sorry that I know a lot of you live in this cold weather, and Beth, I'm looking at you. Oh, did we turn on the chat, Amanda? Okay, we got everything on.
should be on.
Um,
Yeah.
let's see. Let's see. Let's do this. Um, there she is.
Oh my God. I don't even understand
Oh,
what that means, Beth. I
what?
don't understand.
Well, no. Well, that's what when it was 0 degrees. So this morning it was 0 degrees. And I literally went outside because I have no idea what 0 degrees is supposed to feel like. So I went outside. I literally had my pajamas on and I went out and stood on the back stairs because I want to feel what this if zero here feels like -7. Yeah, that's where we're at.
It
Um,
it's numbing.
what are you guys? Okay, Gabe, what's the weather? What's the weather in San Diego right now?
It's currently what is it?
68?
59. No,
Oh,
not 68. It's like low six. It's been like
oh,
59, 60. No, It's it's
put
warm.
put your Ugg boots on. It's
It's
59 degrees in
freezing.
San Diego. It's
Your
time for
booty
Ugg
shorts and
boots.
your Uggs.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I went to the grocery. I mean, I was just like I could you could tell that I was not from here because everybody had hats and big gloves and I have a puffer jacket, no hat, hair's blowing all over the place. It was funny. Anyways, so that's where I'm at. So a little different background going on behind me. Um, Martin Luther King Jr. birthday today, so I'm assuming that's the day off where all the reps are at today, probably taking a day off. So we got Amanda, me, and Gabe, and so I think screen share should be on. Yep. So Gabe, you want to start us off?
I will
80
start it.
degrees warmer is how it feels in Minnesota.
Claire Kirch from PW posted yesterday. It was like it was going to be -14. It was currently like 9, but it felt -7, but it felt like -14.
Like, what does
Uh,
that mean?
I just remember one time being in Chicago, like trying to go from like 60 feet to the Starbucks at the corner from my hotel to get a cup of coffee, and it's all frozen over, and I'm just like teetering
Walk
one little
bugs.
step in front of the other so I don't kill myself to the Starbucks and then back. And then my buddy wanted to get something at the store at the corner at lunch, so the sun was streaming through the buildings, and I run up to get some warmth from the sun, and it's just like, nope, ain't no warmth
Nope.
from
There is no warmth from the sun. Even though that's why I was talking to my daughter's friend. She's like, it's so weird that it's sunny outside, but it's cold. It's like, yeah, yeah. That sun is not a big advantage. It kills all the bugs. Yeah, but they
the.
come back in the summer.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to talk about Asian Other, a book that goes on sale tomorrow, by Vidyan Ravinthiran. It is a Norton book, I think. And it is a memoir. It is a blended memoir and literary essays and writings about literature and musings about life. So all that it's an interestingly um, unplotted maybe memoir, but it all works really well together. But it is a memoir. It is maybe a critique. It's maybe a social critique wrapped up in a memoir. But very digestible pieces that you can read, a very smart voice and a very literary voice. I honestly have never heard of Vidyan Ravinthiran, and the book is held together by poetry from Andrew Marvell, who is a 17th century poet. Um, was he Oliver Cromwell's poet? I think he might have been. They
I'm
called
not
him
sure.
that. Um, uh, to a current Divya Victor, who is a contemporary poet who's like 38, 39 years old. So he uses a lot of their poetry in his writings. Here, this memoir of sorts. Um, Easier to explain calling it a memoir, but it's a lot of things. It's just like I said, a social critique. It is the other. It is having a person on the spectrum in the family, raising a person on the spectrum. It is a look at a life inward, and as the life is also looking out at
Hmm.
the world that's around them. I just thought it was some really amazing writing is what it really came down to. You wanted to sit down and read. And the writing is terrific, uh, very literary writing. So I found it a real treat.
Awesome. When you're talking about a Norton book, because Norton always has, it seems like, very the fiction and the memoirs that they do are just very literary when they do that. Um, and I haven't read this book yet, but it's one that's definitely on my list, and that I don't know if anybody's remembers Mary Weatherup, but she was one of our booksellers. She never really came on Tea Time, but she was an excellent bookseller. She this was her favorite book of last year, called Leaving. And I don't know much about it except for it's a story that takes place about, what risks would you be willing to take to fall in love again? And it's talks about, I think, these college sweethearts, I guess they would be. But anyways, it's the relationship between your children, your husband. Anyways, I just thought when you said Norton, it reminded me of this book, and some people might want to put it on their radar, because I think that it's one that is worth a. It came out last February, but I don't think anybody talked about it because we don't usually. Joe from Norton rarely comes on here, so wanted to highlight that one too because it reminded me when you said Norton. So there we go. Amanda, what do you got for us?
Leaving before I go on, Leaving is not quite out in paperback yet, but I put the paperback link since it comes out March 4th. But
Oh, that's close.
yeah, but we might still have it in hardcover. We do not, but we could order it.
Yeah, we
Anyway,
can order hardcover you want it, or wait till March. Pre-order it for paperback.
yeah. Got something fun. This comes out next Tuesday. This is Tartufo from Kira Jane Buxton.
One of your favorite
And
authors.
she wrote Hollow Kingdom, which I mean, that's one of my favorite books, just
The
hands
Crow Book,
down. Yep,
never read.
because of the protagonist, ST. The
ST.
book, yeah, short for um, can I say the SH word on tea
Yes.
time?
Yes. We're all adults here.
ST is short for shit turd. That's the crow who narrates the book. And similarly, so this is not narrated by a crow, but what I do love about Kira Jane Buxton's books are that animals are prominent characters. So we get some points of view from dogs and cats in this small town in Italy. And this small town's in trouble financially and full of really fun, very vividly drawn characters. And what happens is this one of the characters in the book, this dog, sniffs out an enormous truffle. So the main action of this book is that this truffle that could be worth six figures, they have to figure out how to get it out onto the market and get the money to save the town. But there are all these competing interests, and it's a very fun book. I think she won the Thurber Award Oh no, she was a finalist for the Thurber Prize, which is for, I think, comedic fiction. I know that friend of Warwick's, um, uncle, Stephen Rowley,
Stephen Rowley. Yep.
won a Thurber Prize. So if you want something really well written and whimsical and fun, I would recommend Tartufo, out next week.
Perfect. And Darcy's on here. She said she just finished The Glassmaker and said it was stellar, interesting twist on time and life in Venice and Murano over the centuries.
You cannot go wrong
Tracy.
with a Tracy Chevalier.
Exactly. Yep. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
Tartufo sounds really good.
it's
Sounds
fun.
fun.
Yep, it does. Okay. Thurber House is in Columbus, Ohio. There we go. Okay, Gabe, what do you got for us? Oh, Kim's on here said she loves Hollow Kingdom and she's looking forward to this one.
And Beth is asking, what happened to Kim? It's a good question. It's hard to get Kim on.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So,
I will tell her we had a special request and see if she'll come soon.
yep.
Yeah, it's always nice to have Kim on.
Okay, Gabe, what do you got for us?
I have, let me get back to Zoom. There you are. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I shrunk you. Now I can't find you. So I just let everybody know We Do Not Part by Han King comes out. Han Kang
Ooh,
comes out tomorrow. Um, winner of the Nobel Prize last year, and a book that is uh how do you describe a book like this? It's like it's a it's a high-end literary novel that's going to make you think. It's got a lot going on in it. It has a real dreamlike, ethereal quality to it when you're as you're reading through it, with the kind of a blending of a almost, yeah, like a dreamlike quality. Reminded me a little of that movie Jacob's Ladder, where what's
mm.
real and visionary, and we get a taste of Korean history, violence. We have people living through these horrendous moments, and then just like amazing prose. The translation is so good in this book. Um, that it really stands out. So I always like when you read a translation, you're always like, am I reading, whose words am I reading? And
Right, right, right.
because I've read enough subtitles when you're watching a movie, it's like that's not how I would have said it, uh, but yeah, it's just such a really great translation. I wish I read Korean so I could read it in the Korean. Is how you feel after reading this book, but it's a book that'll get under your skin, and the book that you may be like, I don't know what's going on here, what I've just been through, but it's a ride. You're gonna keep turning the pages, and you're gonna be like just walking around, and it's just gonna pop inside your head down the road. So it's that kind of a book. It's a real big, I think it's a real think book with a really interesting narrative.
I love this cover too. It kind of ties into, I think, what you're saying that the book is,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of that.
Uh, jacket design. I'm always like, it's always tough. I'm always amazed at like what makes a jacket work or not. But I think this is a really good jacket too.
I think it's a great jacket, but it seems to play into what, at least it sounds like it does make sense into what the book kind of how it's done.
Yeah, a little surreal, kind of Magritte, kind of a
Yeah.
thing with that forest thing with the horse.
Yep. Okay, Darcy, you were confusing me. You were describing a book, and I was like, "What's Darcy talking about?" When she said she wrote on here, she goes, she really enjoyed Egyptology and the Met and the twist and the Met Gala, and it's like, yeah, The Stolen Queen is Fiona Davis's new book, and Fiona always picks a great place in New York and does a great story around it. So that's a good one. But you were cracking me up because I was like, Darcy, what are you talking about? So yeah, so there's that one. And then Beth is asking us, do we know the Thurber Prize winner? And I don't know if that's been announced yet. Do you guys know?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think Stephen Rowley won it. Was it last year? Year before? Must have been for 2023, maybe that he wanted, or maybe earlier than that, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Um, no, I don't know whether she was talking. I think she was asking us as committee members, not the book committee members, Amanda. Maybe. I don't know.
What?
I don't know, Beth. I'm very confused. I'm a little sleep deprived here with the three crunch.
Yeah, Dear Committee Members was another Thurber Prize winner. Do you remember that book?
Like
That was a
doing a
good one.
repeat. What
Dear Committee Members was a good
was
was
a
a
good
great
book.
book. Yeah,
Yeah. But I
it was
think that
fun.
she was asking us about the Thurber Prize in that question. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know. No, actually, I meant the book by. Okay, she did mean the book. Okay. Like I said, did so
I
what?
wish we were Thurber Prize committee members.
Yeah, but I thought she was asking us as dear. We are dear committee members.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know, you guys. It's been a long week. Um, but okay, on the flight out here, and I know that Julia already talked about this book. She talked about Dirtbag Queen last week, right? I bought the audio because it wasn't one of the free ones from Libro, and I just one of our booksellers, oh God, I can't think of her, Allie, one of our booksellers was like, you have to listen to this book in audio. And I swear to God, do yourself a favor and get that book in audio.
Oh.
I was literally laughing out loud on the plane listening to this book. People thought I was insane. The guy, because the author reads it, Andy Coren, I think his name is, who's going to be here in a few weeks. Um, think David Sedaris-ish in how he reads this book. It is, I mean, chef's kiss. I only got about halfway through the book. The story is amazing, but it is so funny. So do yourself a favor and do the audio. If you had any interest in reading it, do the audio. It was quite fun, I should say. All right, Amanda, do you got something else for us?
Yeah. For my fellow fantasy readers, I am very excited. I have discovered a series that is already there. A substantial number of the series is already out in paperback, and I didn't know about it. If anyone remembers the book Priory of the Orange Tree, which I loved, this is by the same author, and this is the first in the series called The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And this actually came out before Priory of the Orange Tree, so it just whew, right over my head. And this is set in a future London where some people are born with supernatural abilities, and they are not welcome. They are considered deviant and the enemy. So people with these abilities try to hide themselves as regular citizens. The year is about, I think, 2056, 2059. So our main character, her name is Paige. She ends up getting hired by a secret society kind of syndicate of these people with abilities, but ends up getting arrested for murder. And I forgot to mention her special ability. She's a dream walker, so it's a very rare ability that allows her to sort of enter other people's consciousness. Um, so she's arrested, and then she meets the people who are running this future society in keep sort of keeping the magic users under their thumb. And it has such an interesting magical system, and it's very believable in the way it's written. And I think it's really great. It's so clever, very intricate. It does have a map in the beginning.
Got to
So
have a
that's
map.
yep, that's important to know. And also list of characters and list of terminology for the different kinds of magic. It's very solid world building. So if you're into that, I highly recommend this series, The Bone Season.
Okay,
And go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go.
Oh, I forgot to mention these are new editions. The author kind of went back and didn't change anything substantially in plot, but kind of I think just tightened it up because it was her first thing she wrote, I believe. So these are new, very beautiful updated editions of the first four, and then the fifth book comes out soon in the next couple of months.
Okay, I think I read it, but I think I read that so long ago that I don't really remember. And it was like the very first one.
Yeah.
And I would say
First published
2010, 11, 11?
2013.
Oh, 2013. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It was 10 years ago, so
it was 12 years ago that I read them. But I remember what I do remember is, well, first, when I found out it was going to be a series, I was like, oh, I don't have the memory for a series and it was going to take too long. So it's like, I'm glad you're talking about it now because now people can read like all four of them.
yeah.
But as I remember it, it was like, yeah, because doesn't she describe like the when she gets arrested, like going into the prison and stuff was like really intense.
And it gets weird.
Yeah.
The people in charge of this future society in London, it gets weird.
Yeah.
Um, but it's so well done.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to invoke Harry Potter because
No, but
but
I
but
didn't
I'm
feel
gonna
that.
well in the way that it's a world that you could imagine
Yes.
like an underworld or another
And
thing, another reality, but in our world, set in this
another
world.
person I don't want to invoke is Neil Gaiman, but it kind of reminded me of Neverwhere a little bit ish.
Oh man, we haven't even talked about that,
Yeah,
man.
we haven't talked about that yet. We'll
Oh
leave that
man.
alone. We'll talk about
Um,
we'll talk about Darcy reading the Lisa Marie Presley book. So that's something
yeah.
to talk about. So yeah, that was good. And Darcy, you're gonna if you haven't listened to Stanley Tucci, I listened to his last book on Libro. I love the way he narrates. It is absolutely amazing. So that's good. And Kim, holy moly, you've read a lot. I heard that book, Death of an Author, supposed to be really good. I think Tom or somebody talked about it recently. Rental house, someone you can build a nest in, all very different. Great. Yeah, we love Stanley Tucci. Okay, Gabe,
I'm lightning
let's
it out of here.
do lightning it and get the ball rolling here.
So I want to just jump. So this is the Google page of what can a mess make. So this is a kid's picture book, and it's
Aw.
been up on top of the kids section. I hope I moved it and brought it down, put a gay recommend thing on it, so hopefully nobody gets
I
mad.
love it.
Because I really like this book. The art is very, very nice. Kind of a subdued palette, but still very colorful in its way. A quiet book, but the language is really great, and I think it makes for a good read aloud. And one of the things, when discussing with people when I'm selling picture books at like 19, 18, 20 bucks these days is, you want to get the books that the kids are gonna want you to read over and over again, and that's why we still sell a bunch of like Mike Mulligan and the Steam Shovel and Harold and the Purple Crayon and all those classics. But this is, I think, one of those books. I think it's one of those books where it's got such great language. This is what it looks like. Um, Kitchen clatter, milk and juice, syrup splatter, chocolate mousse, bowl of berries, red and blue. And you can mess away, and a mess can make a meal for two. So it proceeds like that. I think with real easy language, it's not really forced. And that gives you sort of a flavor for what the author's doing here. So I think an easy recommend if you got a grandkid, if you got a kid, if you've got a preschool teacher who likes to read to the kids. I think it's a really cute book about, yeah, sometimes there's parents who are like, "Ah, I don't want to do that because it makes a mess." But, I just remember with my kids and the grandkids when they're splashing water cleaning the dish, helping with the dishes, or they're helping you stir batter for breakfast pancakes or something. They like being put to work, and yeah, they do make a mess, but you just pick it up. It's gonna be a mess anyways. So I just thought a really fun book. It brought back, warm feelings of being a parent and a grandparent, and I think that's the sucker audience.
Are
Uh,
you
I love
directly
it.
hand selling to Julie?
I know. Honestly, because seriously, that is like I was just writing it down because it's like that is my that I'll be going back downstairs to clean up that mess. Because the kids have those little towers that they stand on in the kitchen,
All
you
right.
know. Yep. Mix,
Little
mix,
stuff.
mix.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, that's what they do.
They
But
like
I
to have.
mean, and you're so right about kids, and I remember this from my kids even 30 years ago. Same book over,
Yeah,
over,
over
over,
again,
you
again,
know,
yeah, again.
good night moon. We all got to do good night moon.
That was the longest.
Amanda, what's that?
It was always the longest ones with my son
Yep.
Jonathan. It was like, God, well, you got to pick the 65-page Dr. Seuss. There's a lot of 24, 40-page Dr. Seuss.
Just give me the last one. And I was wrong about the death of an author. That actually was a William Morrow book. Um, so anyways, I thought Tom had talked about it, but must not have been. Okay. All right. Amanda, you got any last minute wisdom for anybody? I don't have a third one.
Um, Wait, did you give us one yet, Julie?
Well, I
Oh,
talked
Dirtbag
about
Queen.
the leaving. I
Dirtbag
talked
Queen.
about leaving and Dirtbag
Okay.
Queen.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah. Okay,
talking
good,
about
good.
I've been talking about some stuff. Come on
Good, good, good.
now.
Okay,
Come
okay.
on now.
It's just because I didn't like visually see you hold up a book.
Yeah,
My brain
I got
didn't process it.
I got nothing.
That's
I
okay.
got nothing.
Um, yeah, I haven't gotten too far in this one yet, but I'm really enjoying it, so I will talk about it. This is called How to Think Like Socrates: Ancient Philosophy as a Way of Life in the Modern World by Donald J. Robertson. And it came out in November. So it's been out for a bit. And it's from St. Martin's Press. And I really like a good, approachable philosophy book. And this one is the author writes from a cognitive behavioral psychotherapy angle. So it's sort of an evidence-based way to apply Socrates to your life. And what I also like about it is he starts out by freely admitting that we don't really know a lot about Socrates in reality. So he just says straight up that he takes liberties. He will change the name of a person. A lot of what we know about Socrates comes secondhand through plays of the time. So the author says that he just changes characters to make the story make better sense and changes little details to make the lessons flow better, which I think is really cool. I like it when I think a lot of authors take such liberties but aren't necessarily right upfront about it, especially in nonfiction. You want to be a true source of information, but um, when we're talking about ancient philosophy and these sort of canonical ideas, having someone say, like, listen, this is a malleable, this stuff that has come down to us about these people. It's not written in stone, the way you think a lot of the ancient uh, precepts are. So anyway, I've really been enjoying this book, and if you look at the cover, it's pretty clever.
Ah,
Socrates is on his tablet with his headphones on.
Plugged in.
like
Yep.
did.
Yeah, like these aren't just stuffy ideas that don't have any value to us. They can be practically applied, is the point of this book. And
Interesting.
it's a comfort. It it's inspiring, and I'm really enjoying it. So, How to Think Like Socrates by Donald J. Robertson.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be some like things that get lost in translation over how many years?
Right.
More than a few.
There's been a few. All right, everybody. I think we had some good picks again today. I think that we'll thanks Gabe for coming on.
Yeah.
Things are good at the store. Loving it.
Fun at the store.
Yep, it's always fun there.
Good to see.
This week I think we've got two in-person events. Yeah, gonna try and stay warm out here. and everybody loves to see you, Gabe.
When do you come back,
Um,
Julie?
I come back Friday.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I'm I've been relegated as the house manager. So that's what I'm doing out here. There's a 10-day-old baby here, so it's like
I
and
imagine you
to
with like the belt with like all the keys on it, like
kind of
the mistress of the house in a
mistress
gothic
of the
novel.
kind of what's happening. Running up and down the stairs. It's really fun. And two little 2-year-olds, so it's busy. Um, so yeah, so I'll be back Friday, and then so we got two in-person events. We had one that was kind of a last minute one, with Lottie Jeff. So hopefully, I'm hoping that some people from San Diego show up for that event. And
Yeah,
then
they
we've
were
got Sosh. What's that, Amanda?
they were diverted here because of the fires
Because
in
of fire.
LA.
Yeah.
So
So they
Julie
brought Lottie
provided us,
over from the UK, and
yeah.
they're like, she's here. We need
Yeah.
some place to do this because so many bookstores and author events in LA just can't happen right now. So I feel bad for everybody that's in, you forget about the threads of how this is affecting everybody, you know,
Ripples, ripples.
the ripples. Yeah. And then Sash Biskoff, who wrote Sweet Fury, she went to Bishop's. So this is her debut. She's coming on Wednesday. And
It's
then,
getting amazing reviews
I know it's
for
doing
book
really
Sweet
well.
Fury.
Yeah, Sweet Fury. So that's based on, is it a Faulkner? I can't remember now.
Um, it's
Not Faulkner.
it's Fitzgerald.
It's Fitzgerald. That's it. I knew it was an
Yeah.
F. My brain
Uh-huh.
again. My brain again.
Oh.
And then Fran Lebowitz will be in town. So if you want to see Fran in San Diego, there you go. All right, everyone. It's been fun having to thank Gabe. Amanda, thank you. And we will call it a night. See
Bye,
you,
everybody.
everybody. See you next week. Oh, and Amanda.
Okay.